Yo guys, what's up? So, the Georgia Guidestones have been bombed. If you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are, I'll go over that a little bit. Um, I don't think this is not a good thing, and I'll explain why. But yeah, let's watch this news clip, see what happened, and then we'll go over it a little bit.
A monument considered by some conservative Christians to be satanic was badly damaged by an explosive device. One of the four granite panels on the Georgia Guidestones monument was reduced to rubble. The attraction was built in 1980 from local granite and commissioned under the name R.C. Christian. The 19-foot-high panels bear a 10-part message in 8 languages with guidance for living an age of reason. The so-called American Stonehenge also serves as a sundial and astronomical calendar. The bombing is under investigation.
All right, so as you can see there, Guidestones bombed. Let's hop over here to Wikipedia. So after they were bombed, one of the slabs was destroyed, and the government came in, or whoever came in, and just tore down the rest of them. So they are no longer there. I'll explain why I think that's pretty unfortunate. Since they have the footage of the bombing, right, of them being bombed, they should have the footage of the dude placing them, and it should be pretty easy for them to catch it. So it'll be interesting to see if they catch this guy. That's what I'm really looking out for. But so if you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are, let me go over this a little bit. So the Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia, United States from 1980 to 2022. It was 19 feet 3 inches tall and made from 6 granite slabs, weighing a total of 237,746 pounds. The structure was sometimes referred to as an American Stonehenge. The creators of the monument believed that there was going to be an upcoming social, nuclear, or economic calamity and wanted the monument to serve as a guide for humanity afterward. Though initially garnering little controversy, they ultimately became the subject of conspiracy theories alleging a connection to Satanism. On the morning of July 6, 2022, the Guidestones were heavily damaged in a bombing and were later dismantled on the same day. Okay. So, as you can see, whoever wrote this, where does it say? So, they ultimately became the subject of conspiracy theories alleging a connection to Satanism. Yeah. Conspiracy theories, I mean, let's talk about that term a little bit. A conspiracy, right? We break it down. It's where someone conspires to do something, right? So, people conspire all the time. Conspiracy theory basically means doing something under the table, right? Doing something under the table, and almost everything happens under the table. So yeah, it's just the term conspiracy theory is used to dismiss a lot of factual, real stuff. But yeah. So let's go down here. The construction in June 1979, a man using the pseudonym Robert C. Christian approached the Elberton Granite Finishing Company on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans and commissioned the structure. Christian explained that the stones would function as a compass, calendar, and clock and should be capable of withstanding catastrophic events. The man reportedly used the pseudonym as a reference to his Christian religion. Christian said he wanted a granite monument built that could rival the British Neolithic monument Stonehenge, drawing inspiration from the structure after a visit. Okay, so what we see here is this guy, whoever put this giant monument there, okay? We don't even know his real name. He used a pseudonym. He said he was working on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans, okay? This guy obviously had money. So he had a lot of money. Money tends to mean power. From my understanding, this guy bought the property that it was put on. The 5 acre, yeah, see down here it says the 5 acre site was purchased by Christian from a local farm owner. So this guy, and then up here actually it says the total cost of the project was not revealed, but it was over $100,000. So this guy bought the land and then put this giant monument there under a fake name. All right. Let's go down here and read what was on this monument. Okay. It says a message consisting of a set of 10 guidelines or principles was engraved on the Georgia Guidestones in 8 different languages. One language on each face of the 4 large upright stones, moving clockwise around the structure from due north. These languages were English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. The languages were chosen because they represented most of humanity, while Hebrew was chosen because of its connections to Judaism and Christianity. According to the monument sponsors, the inscriptions are meant to guide humanity to conserve nature after a nuclear war, which the creators thought was an imminent threat. So, I'm going to tell you right now, my view on this whole thing is that this monument, the Georgia Guidestones, were put there by very powerful people. I mean, this all ties into secret societies. It ties into, of course, Satanism, because secret societies tie into Satanism. It ties into overpopulation, which is a myth. It's that's a bunch of crap. It ties into all of that, and you're gonna have to do your research on that. I might go into these other subjects, at some point down the road, but let's go over what the inscription says. Also, I'm gonna throw this in there. If you have any understanding of the Abrahamic faiths, any Abrahamic faith, whether it be Judaism, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Islam, you're gonna be able to read these guidelines and know right off the bat that they are against the godly path. They do not fall in line with the godly path. So I'm gonna start right here at number 1. It says, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So they want to maintain humanity under 500 million. We got how many billion people on the planet? 6 billion people, 7 billion, I don't know how many people. It's a lot of billions. What are we going to do with all those billions of people? All right. And as I said, according to Abrahamic faiths, the godly way is to reproduce, populate the earth, and live in harmony with each other, with your spouse. The family is the base unit, make societies, and live in harmony and peace. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. So, that one should stand out, right off the bat. I mean, you can see that there's a huge push right now to guide reproduction with Planned Parenthood and so many other things. They clearly, the powers that be clearly want less people on this planet. Not because the planet is overpopulated, that's what they say. It's because the system that's been built can only hold such a population, like a certain number. Once the population gets bigger than that falls outside of the capabilities of the system that's been built. All right. Number 3, unite humanity with a living new language. Rule number 4, rule passion, faith, tradition. Okay, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Okay, so if you know about the Freemasons in Europe, right? They had a problem with the church, okay? And one of the problems with the church was they saw the church as going against reason, right? Going against reason, and they were people of quote unquote science, okay, scientific minded people, and they wanted reason to rule over, as it says even here, a faith, basically, all things through reason. And that's the deistic mindset. And if you study what really Masonry is, there are deistic elements to it. It goes deeper, way deeper, but there are deistic elements to it. So number 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Number 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. So they want a world court. Who's in charge of that world court? I mean, this is clearly globalization, if you know what's going on with the WEC, World Economic Forum, you can look this stuff up. There's a huge push to globalize things. The question is, who's gonna run this global system? You look into it hard enough, you'll find out. I might do some videos later on this stuff, but it's not good for us. It's good for them. Number 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Number 8, balance personal rights with social duties. That sounds a little bit like communism. Not saying that's what it means here, but yeah. So number 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. What they mean by the infinite there, who knows? Probably some crazy occult meaning. Number 10, be not cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature. The irony in that is humans are a part of nature. We came from the earth. When we die, we go back into the earth. We are a part of nature. Some humans are cancerous by their own choice, how they choose to exercise their free will. They are cancerous, but that's not the nature of you. That doesn't have to be the nature of a human. So let's scroll down a little bit here. It's got some astronomic features. It says it's got the physical data here, guidestone languages, interpretation. So here it's gonna say conspiracy theories, right? The guidestones became a subject of interest for conspiracy theorists. Wired stated that unspecified opponents have labeled them as the 10 Commandments of the Antichrist. Well, that's because they sound pretty anti-Christish, if you ask me. Some conservative Christians have called the monument satanic. I wonder why. So yeah, they're going to try and dismiss anything about the actual reality of what it is here. Yeah, it says RC Christian resembles the Rose Cross Christian, the founder of the Rosicrucian order. They're just going to try to dismiss everything here. And yeah, I mean, you really got to look into this. This is clearly a satanic monument. I mean, it's 100%. These guiding rules here are clearly against the godly path. See, and I don't know if this guy, whoever did it, some people are saying, oh, they actually blew it up themselves because it's evidence against their plot. I mean, it's inscribed in huge granite stones. Anyone could go visit it. So it's evidence as to what they're doing. But it could also be just some one-off dude who didn't like it and decided to blow it up, which I think is actually a huge disservice if that's the case, because, I mean, as I said, it's evidence. You can point that out to people and they can go look at it, and it should get people thinking. I mean, if your mind is flexible and open, that should get you thinking. I mean, put it in perspective. You got these huge granite slabs that were put there by a guy who used a pseudonym, who's got these crazy rules about how the world should be ruled, and they are in a country which was founded and has been ruled and run by secret societies pretty much since its inception. So, yeah, crazy times we live in, crazy times.